Well, extremism is why Republicans lose elections. I mean, you just said it earlier that we don't want to run on abortion. Abortion is absolutely on the ballot from the White House on down to mayoral races in this country. And the extreme ruling yesterday should not stand. I hope it doesn't stand because the vast majority of Americans, whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, they support all the exceptions: rape, incest, life of the mother, which is why Donald Trump's comments on Monday were so important. I believe he's going to go down as the most pro-life president in history. However, he also understands suburban women and suburban moms, that they're not going to stand for extremism. And what we saw yesterday in Arizona was very extreme. I was glad to see Kari Lake push back. She needs to continue to push back. I hope that today Kari Lake will call on the Arizona legislature to act fast, act now, act today, and get moving on correcting this ruling, because we don't need to be throwing doctors in jail. This should not be a felony. And Republicans need to be as vocal as they can be across the country, rebuffing the Arizona ruling yesterday. And it's up to Arizona to fix it now.
Yeah, I think you're right when you say extreme, and this is not good timing. 6.5 months before the election, Arizona, a major battleground state. How could this affect Donald Trump?
Well, we know that in 22, we lost races because of the issue of abortion. When Roe v. Wade was overturned, I was one of the first, maybe one of the only outspoken voices on this issue. I took a lot of heat from my party for it, but we won overwhelmingly because I was willing to find some common ground. That's what Donald Trump is. He's very much a pro-life president. However, he wants to build consensus. He understands that there's a middle ground here where both sides can come together. I'll be curious to see what Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs does. I mean, does she drag this out until November when we know that the legislature can come in with a quick fix to make it a wedge issue, to make it an electoral issue? When the IVF ruling came out in Alabama, Donald Trump was one of the first people to speak out condemning the ruling and supporting women's access to IVF. A great move. But at the same time, you know, I tried to get Republicans on an IVF bill up here in Congress, and Democrats refuse to get on because they want to use it as a wedge in November. They don't really care about women because they want to use it to win electorally.
Yeah, politically, Congresswoman, I think you seem to be stating this, but this is a grenade politically for
Correct.
Republicans that is about to explode. You do not want to be campaigning against abortion again like you were in 2022. It
But
is
we're
a
going to have
loser.
to. I mean, this is...
You're
yeah,
going to
we're
have to. I don't know why the Supreme Court there did this now. I would not be surprised if Donald Trump goes to Arizona and holds a rally there and states his position again to the voters in Arizona, because Katie Hobbs said this yesterday, that it is going to be on the ballot in November. Take a listen.
No, it's outrageous to have the government tell you that the best decision for your health or future could now be considered a crime. My message to Arizona women is this: I will not stop fighting until we have fully secured the right to reproductive health care in our state. I refuse to let radical extremists take control over women's bodies or tell my 22-year-old daughter that she has less rights than I did when I was her age.
Your reaction to that, because Kamala Harris already blamed it on Donald Trump. Joe Biden did yesterday in a tweet, and there's the governor of Arizona.
Well, we know that Democrats, I know firsthand, I've been on the cutting edge, like trying to lead on women's issues for the Republican Party since Roe v. Wade was overturned. I've worked with both sides on these issues. I will tell you most recently, my greatest disappointment is that Democrats will not work with Republicans on reasonable legislation protecting women's rights. I know this firsthand from my IVF bill. I hope that Kari Lake will call on the legislature in Arizona today to put a stop to this, put a fix in, and protect women, particularly women like me who are survivors of rape, girls who are victims of incest, and women who may lose their life due to their pregnancy. We need to protect the lives of mothers everywhere. We need to make sure that women have access to birth control. We need to make sure that IVF is not taken away. And while this issue rests with the states, we need to make sure that Supreme Courts and justices in those states aren't ruling in an extreme way. And if they are, urge the legislature now, today, get moving on finding the fix, just like Alabama did.